All right. Guru here. It's Tuesday. I normally don't do a whole lot of videos on Tuesday. When we're still working, men, it's like, you need that peace after work. But I'm such a tackle nut that if I don't come into the war room and start working on tackle and, you know, geeking out and doing shit, then something's wrong with the day. And so I was like, you know what? What I was doing, you know, I need to share this, especially now with all the rivers dropping, low, cold, clear water. It's a couple of things. And you're going to hear so much about presentation, but this is definitely a time that, you need to get out there and fish, especially even if you don't plan on catching anything. One of the best ways to learn about steelhead is to observe them. Watching the steelhead in holes, that are low and clear, especially if it's a hole that you can be on first thing in the morning. I have a couple of them that I've used throughout the years where I know I can go. And as long as I don't do any fishing, I can watch steelhead move around in the hole and pick different spots. And you learn a lot by how they lay, how they move, that type of thing. And right now is a good time to do that because we're in the middle of really, really good steelhead season. So, if you can get to a place, bridges are always good where you can observe steelhead moving. A lot of times, if you can see them, the old adage is if you can see them, then they can see you. That's not exactly true, especially if you're approaching them from behind. Um, Steelhead can see up. All salmon steelhead, they see up, they see out, but it's very hard for them to see down and backwards. So if you keep that in mind as you approach a particular body of water, a lot of times, especially these big deep holes with nice long tail outs, you can observe steelhead coming up early in the mornings or maybe late in the evenings. You can't put a price tag on observing a steelhead naturally undisturbed. You will learn so much. That being said, we're going to jump right into it. I actually had to buy some, I don't have that much lead right now. So here, I'll give you an idea. So here's a couple hundred. These are 100 packs of the Mustad Ultra Point 1/0 2X, excuse me. Here, maybe there might be too much glare so you guys can see what I'm pouring. There we go. Then you get model number and all that. These guys here, also I'll give honorable mention to Owner. Makes a really good 1/0 2X that's excellent. So, in fact, I think that's what all these guys, because I can't buy I suppose I could try to make these with the white, but I usually just buy a few. This is one of my favorites right here, is the white with the 3 pink dots on either side. And I believe that's what Worden's uses is the Owner style. But the 2X, you can see that wire's thick. You need that, man, especially when you're talking steelhead in the teens and or bigger, 20 plus. You need I got a great video of me with a big native hen about 15 pounds. And man, I had her once that big guy sets in right there, it was right in the top, right in the beak, just perfect. And she wasn't going nowhere, and I wasn't worried about the hook, so I could really put some stink on her. I just haven't made haven't made any jigs yet. The other ones I buy, and it's no secret, is the blue metallic. I can't do that. No matter how hard I try with powder coating, it's a different kind of process to do the metallic colors. But I do like these blue metallic. These are always, if I was gonna, of the two, if I was gonna pick one, I'd go with the blue metallic. Now, plain white is king. If you were gonna absolutely just make one color jig head, you can never go with, or you can never doubt plain white jig head. I mean, I still say that's the best colors, just a plain pearl white. Nothing on it, just plain pearl white. It seems to just, it marries well with all the other colors. And but I really, these blues, any of the metallic colors, really, there was a period of time in the early 2000s where I used to use only metallic red Corkies, and they would just absolutely, basically the same way we use a bead now. But you're just using a toothpick to pin the Corky, break it off. It's done deal. Now they got different little things you can do. But yeah, pinning the bead has been around. We just used to pin a Corky, but that metallic red was a great one for years. But one year in particular, it was, man, especially on the Wilson, I could do no wrong with that sucker. But real quick, one thing I always do, and we don't talk about this enough, I don't think very many people do, is the importance. This is a triangle file. This is the file that I use. You can go to any hardware store and get these small little triangle files and get these. They have various coarseness on them. Usually it's 3 different ones on these triangle files. But so most of these hooks already come, super sharp, but that's how sharp you want your hook. If you can see that, that's what your hook should do. It shouldn't slide off. You should be able to put it on just like that. And if I pulled on that sucker, just right into my skin. You want these bad boys, as we like to call it. Oh, that would have sucked. Sticky, icky. You want them sticky, to where that steelhead, as soon as it comes up, with these jigs, if they're sticky like they should be, they're gonna bury. You don't even, as the steelhead turns and goes down, like they all do, just the little bit of restriction from the float will almost hook it itself, and by the time you set the hook, it's a done deal. You're gonna get your fish, man. But really going over your jigs with a file, touching them up brand new out of the package. I even do it like when I take my standard size 1 hooks. This one obviously hasn't been, ooh, see that? That was already sharp, but we're about to make it sharper. You just touch that bad boy up, man. Work it all angles. Always. Go through every hook. It's a really easy thing to do if you're sitting in front of the TV with your wife or your girlfriend. Just touching those suckers up. Where you can see some metal. Here. I could probably, that's so sticky. See if I can pierce my skin. No, but it'll it'll do that. Oh, yeah. There you go, right there. That's sticky, icky. Sticky. And that's the way you want them. Don't trust the factory sharpening. Not saying that you can't. It's just, you know, when you're fishing and you've touched that hook up, and check it periodically, especially these little files like this. They're cheap. You can get them anywhere. They fit right in your waders perfectly, or in your bag. You can grab it. If you lose it, who cares? You can just go get another one because they're cheap. More often than not, these little triangle, uh, God, I'm having a brain fart. Files right here. You can get them cheaper than a fish hook file that's got the fancy handle and all that. And you can actually buy a handle, a wood handle, if you want one that goes right on these, or make one yourself. But having that bad boy around, getting all these hooks, absolutely sticky sharp. See that? That's what it should do, just like that. It should be that sticky. If I just pulled on that, it'd go right through my finger in a second. One other thing while we're still here. If you notice, see that barb? So I use, it's one of my many tools that I get over the years. This is, as you can see, it's a little pair of Berkley, but it's got a little knife and stuff. But it's got just the right flat edge that you come up behind that barb. Open that barb. Open it up. Let's see if you can see that. It's much more open. That barb's going to catch now, and I mean really catch, and not come out. These are the things that you do to ensure that when you do get that hook up, you don't lose fish. I do it to my trebles too. Touch them up. Push the barb out. Now that we've gone over that, which is, you never hear people talking about it enough. And really, I want to drive that home of touching everything up. Now, you're going to hear people talk about you need to go to smaller presentations. Now, smaller presentations, yes, they do help. I'd rigged up a couple stuff. But what is more important isn't necessarily small, it's color. Now, this isn't going to do this justice. There you can kind of see that, the way that is. And this is the benefit of pouring your own soft plastics and being able to really hone in, almost like sighting in your rifle on different colors for different stuff. You can see my little mayfly in there. Actually, that light may be killing it. Let's do that. There, now you can see it better that way. I'm just getting too much glare from that one light. Look at that color. That is about as, I wouldn't say it's totally natural, but it took me a long time to get that color just right. Here's another one. It took me a long time to get that. These are 12 mil, by the way, to get that color just right. And these are still 12s. I honestly, if you're doing just single beads, I'd never go smaller than 12s. I don't care what the watercolor is. I use 12s and 14s mostly, and it doesn't seem to be a problem. But these lighter colors, but in a size that, you know, the other thing you want to think of too is in that clear water like that, steelhead, just like a smallmouth bass or an ambush predator or a cutthroat trout is probably the best example. For the people in the East, it'd be the brook trout. You know, they're very voracious and they're ambush predators. They hide behind rocks and stuff like that. You know, it's not out of the ordinary to think if you have this very slow, large meal coming down the river that, you know, they get a lot of time to really look at, that they're going to take it or at least go over and check it out. Hey, wait a minute. What is this? That's where these little trout worms that I make really come into. I rig them up with just a plain jig. In fact, while we're sitting here, We can just throw one on real quick. And again, if you guys are always in the doubt, put your soft plastics up so you can see the distance where the hook comes out. That way you rig them right the first time. You're not guessing the distance. But these little guys right here, man, since I bought this mold, in this mold, always be careful when you're doing this, because that hook especially is just so razor sharp. That mold I got from Bass Tackle. That's a Bass Tackle mold. And I always do it with the bend down. Gives it more action. But that little guy right there, man. Not too big, not too small. Just right. Here's one I'd rigged up with the smaller jigs. And that head. And then the mayfly. And the mayfly... I don't think I got the mayfly mold from Bass Tackle. I think I got it from someone else. I don't remember. But these are all molds that you can get. And what do I always say to you guys? If you're not pouring your own soft plastics, you're doing yourself a disservice. If you were going to pick one thing to do to make by yourself, of all the tackle, soft plastics is arguably the one I would do even more. Even though spinners is the way I started out, I would still choose soft plastics because it gives you, I'm a multi-species fisherman. I don't fish for just salmon and steelhead and trout. I love bass fishing. I love rock fishing. I just love it all. And when you can make all your own soft baits for all your different stuff, like say these little worms for surf perch, and man, it's gonna just put you so far ahead of the game compared to anybody else. You need to do it. You need to start pouring your own soft plastics. Please, it's not that hard. If you have a microwave, you can do it. You can buy the mold. You can get started for less than $200 making your own beads and all your own colors and all your, and then you get to, like what I've done is you start formulating to your water. Well, this color, in your journal, hopefully you guys are doing your journals. I caught this fish on this color at this time, this water level, this is the temperature, and you can really start to, figure out the pattern. One's lucky, two's a theory, three's a pattern. And it don't take very long for you to find those patterns for different rivers and put yourself really, really far, far ahead of the game. One other thing before we go, we've gone over those first few points. I'm gonna do 2 a month. I made up these 2 already, as you can see. I put them in nice, the nice lock boxes, the Flambeau with the lock and stuff. So you get a nice box. It's got some, oh shit. Oh, look at those. Look at those berries. Oh, look at those. Damn. Whoever gets this one, man. Oh yeah. And then let's see, what do we got here? Oh, what's a tasty little treat to look at? Ooh, here's one of my faves for steelhead. Oh, look at that. Oh, isn't that pretty? Yes. Someone's gonna get that because it's treasure hunting time. So me and my grandson this Saturday are going to go do a little bank fishing for steelhead somewhere. And then I'm going to stash those boxes in a couple different places. I will take pictures of them. And then I will post them Saturday night. So Sunday, you guys get a full Sunday to go look for the 2 boxes, those who are interested. Shit, even if you don't catch any steelhead, man, get a nice box full of custom tackle. I made them both real nice. So I'll do 2 in January, 2 in February, 2 in March. I don't know. I like the treasure hunt idea. I just think it's better than just doing a giveaway. It gives you a reason to get your sorry asses off the couch and go fishing, man, because that's what it's all about. Getting out there, being wild, man. You got to get out there and be wild. This weather we've been having. But I put in a phone call and they're cloud seeding today. Man, there was a whole lot of chemtrails over the city of Portland and outlying areas. We had them all over. They were chemtrailing like crazy. And they usually do it for 2 days, and then we get another atmospheric river. So we'll get some more rain here this weekend, that's for sure. But the big rain won't come till the week after. Usually takes a couple weeks after they go over and drop all their dog shit on us. But it does help with the rain, and everything's low, cold, and clear, and we need it to warm up, and we need some rain. I know it's horrible to think, but I'd like to fish the North Fork a couple more times, but when it's running down like 34 inches, I ain't going there. I usually like to fish it at least 45 or above, so, plus all the other stuff. Hey, before I go to the big Nehalem, it's ready. There's fish. It's coming into shape real nice, and it's only going to get better. So if you guys are really, really wanting to chase big Nates and get away from the crowds, man, there's so many spots, especially if you have Onyx maps. There's so many good spots to fish the big Nehalem that's public ground. Man, you just can't. It's just a great place to go. It really is, especially if you just want to take your kids and find your own little spot, your own little beach, gravel bar, whatever. You can do that, and no one will bug you, and you can do whatever you want to do, test whatever you want to test, and the weather's still going to be really nice this weekend. Not as nice as it was last weekend, but it's still going to be really nice. That being said, God bless, shoot straight, tight lines, get the fuck out there and be wild. Guru out.